Hello, 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 and welcome to yet another Rag Company podcast. That's right, I'm Dane Hennen. To my right, Levi Gates.
What's up, Dane?
And to my left, Anthony Fisher.
Hey, hey.
And we haven't done our weigh-in. Normally we do it before the show, but we're saving it.
Well, we kind of had to bump it up a little bit. Had to go a little early today. We've got some other stuff we got to do, so we thought let's get the podcast done. Yeah. Then we will be going live to do that. So
because that's the UK Cup. For those who don't know what that is, a little weight loss competition amongst the crew.
So my thing, we got a little bit of housekeeping to do.
Yeah.
Start off this week. I believe we have a sale coming up.
Oh, that is important. Yeah,
sometime this week.
About that?
Do we have a sale coming up, Levi?
We do. Matter of fact, we have a meeting tomorrow to discuss the optics of that sale.
the scale of the optics. The optics
scale
of the sale.
Optics.
Very official.
I like that.
But yeah, we are going to be doing a Valentine's Day sale, and we do have a lot of kits that are going to be coming out. So the way to learn about all this magical stuff, make sure you go to the website and you sign up for the newsletter if you are not signed up already. And that way you will be the first to know all the great things. Now, we're not going to spoil it today. We'll probably talk about it on Thursday.
Just know that it's coming.
But there's some awesome package deals.
Yeah.
Some great products discounted.
It basically,
and I believe
the theme is commitment.
Sticker?
Oh.
No.
No
I don't
sticker.
think there's a sticker. So, unfortunately, okay.
It's always a fun thing to ask about.
I need to just address this. So, the idea was that we were going to have this new sticker design, right? And we said, Nate, we really need you to create something just amazing and beautiful. Well, right now, Nate is pretty overworked with a lot of other things. And so he said that he didn't have any time to create a sticker. He did have time to go out and buy a new truck, though. So that's good.
Nice.
Good for him, but not necessarily creator sticker. So, Nate, if you're watching this,
way to frame that.
We understand and we totally get it. And so, for everybody else, there will not be a new sticker. There will be the existing sticker, I think, reprinted.
Okay. Well, it's a sticker because remember, lots of folks have been posting on the podcast discussion group. Again, if you aren't on the podcast discussion group on Facebook for the Rag Company podcast, please go on there and join. A lot of people missing out on certain types of stickers.
Of the previous year's sticker.
It would be funny, though, if Nate's like, guys, I got the sticker last minute. And we're like, Nate, this is literally the picture of your truck. And he's like, what do you think?
Valentine's Day.
That's
baby. My day, Valentine's.
That is love. I'm kidding, Nate. Congratulations on the truck. Hopefully, next holiday, we'll have a sticker for you guys. Yeah. A new version of something, I hope. So
yeah, that's kind of the goal. And like I said, if you hadn't gotten last year's, a little reissue, why not grab one this time? There's a lot of people posted like, I missed out on that sticker. I missed out on this sticker. Good news. Chance to grab another one. So
I'm just looking forward to Easter when we make a Rags to Riches sticker. Rejuvenate,
I like that.
Really
the rebirth, the necromancy solution.
Can we have that theme?
It's just a Rags to Riches sticker. I don't know why you're reading so much into this.
Dane, I think people get offended by that. I think that is not what we can technically do here.
Oh, okay.
It's like
guess I learned something
rags
today.
have risen, like something.
This is very
towels feel good again. Okay,
the towels are back in life.
Jeez. Anyway,
3 days.
Thought I'd throw that idea out there.
So,
G, if you're listening,
all you guys, one of the great things about this weekend was to be able to watch the Pepsi weekends go up against the Buccaneers of Kansas City.
Wow.
And fight it out on the diamond. Yeah. It was beautiful. Watch them walk out on the diamond, see them, slap some of them goals in.
Yeah, the octagon.
In the octagon.
Yeah.
It was, myself, of course, as a sponsored by Pepsi, was rooting for the weekend to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a big fan of sports ball too, and I gotta say,
him and his team did a great job. Yeah. I think they distracted the other players with the lights on their hands and things.
They were blinding.
I think they gave him a yellow card for that.
They were handing out yellow cards left and right, and green ones too.
So I was voting for the Streakers, so that was my team that I was voting for.
They didn't really. There weren't that many of them. I was amazed to see just
what they lack in numbers they have in willpower and courage,
that's
true.
For real though, I didn't see the Stricker at all on our stream. Like,
I didn't either,
period.
but then
He
again, I
wasn't-
had turned
didn't
my
exist.
television off at that
Yeah,
point.
no, they didn't highlight him very much because he's the underdog, obviously.
Okay, I understand that.
So
yeah.
that, or he became a sexual offender within the first 30 seconds there.
One of the fun things was while teaching my children about the Super Bowl, this was the first year where they've achieved consciousness.
Oh, okay.
So
They're sentient now.
Yeah, they're sentient beings, and they were like, "What is this Super Bowl talk that we are hearing?"
Happens every year.
We'd
Just-
like to
noticed it now.
participate. Are we going to be watching this bowl that is super?
It is an event that we partake in.
Yeah, the kids were like, our teachers kept asking us, who are we voting for to win? And I said, well, we're not voting for anybody.
That's not how that works.
It's you're rooting for your favorite team.
Yep.
And so had to teach the children about that. Then,
Did you teach them that both football teams were bad?
no, what I did was I said, you could choose whoever you want. It doesn't matter. Now, one thing I did do, pulled up the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah.
While we were watching some of the day-to-day items that were being played, because it's a day-long event, right? They always do little stuff.
Yeah,
I wanted to make sure we
tailgating,
could
the
watch it,
whole
so I
experience.
did all
Yeah.
what I needed to do. Hadley found the Puppy Bowl.
What?
Yeah.
That became her new obsession. At about 11 o'clock yesterday, she goes, can I go upstairs and watch the Puppy Bowl by myself? And I said, well, the TV's just on down here. You can watch it.
That's why you set up either a picture-in-picture or you get like another temporary TV you put on a stand next
What
to
she
it or
figured
something.
out was that Hulu had all the previous episodes, the previous
so
past.
she could go back
a
in
few of
time.
them, like 3 or 4 Puppy
When did
Bowls.
they start that? Like 2004 or 5?
I don't know. They were on the 16th year or something.
Okay.
Anyway,
They've been doing it for a while.
she went up and basically binged Puppy Bowl for a good majority of the day. Carly and I realized we're like, oh, we should probably see if she wants to come down. And I was like,
She
hey,
does
we're
not
eating
care.
dinner. She's like, comes down. She's like, so I don't know if you guys knew this, but Max in Puppy Bowl 12, like she had all these like characters.
She's
like,
memorizing
she had art,
stats. She becomes the John Madden of the
yeah.
Puppy Bowl.
Yeah, it was very surprising.
That's
So
great.
that was an enlightening experience to teach my children what
man.
Super Bowl. Needless to say, Augie was very upset because he wanted the Kansas City Chiefs to win.
Oh.
And he was very mad that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers kept scoring, and he didn't understand why. It's not
His
the
name
think
is
that
Tom
no-
Brady.
he was
the
like,
adults
it's,
do not know
it's
why.
the Chiefs' turn to score.
It's
Yeah.
no, it's
and
nobody's
he was very
turn here,
frustrated
bud.
that they were scoring 3 points at a time.
I'm surprised. You would think that Augie would be more of like a pirate,
That's what I thought.
like a fan of
Well,
pirates.
there's a skull and swords on their flag.
That's,
I thought
literally,
for
that's,
sure.
that's Augie's life right there.
Yeah, but
That's
it was his mom. Carly had said, "I'm voting. I want to vote for the Chiefs," and so Augie and Hadley both took her side.
So
And
the problem is I'm opposed to both teams, so I had
am
nobody
too.
to root for. Plus, I
just like watching
don't-
Tom Brady do his thing. That's all.
I mean, it's cool that what Tom Brady has done is historic and that's rad, but at the same time, I don't like him just because the whole Bill Belichick thing and Patriots. I'm tired of the
But he
Patriots.
didn't have Bill Belichick this time.
I
Just
know, and the
him
fact
on his
that
own, and
Bill
he was
Belichick
able to do
wasn't
it.
there, but Tom Brady was still there, so I just felt that
Yeah.
like residue was
Yeah,
still
him
there.
and Gronkowski
So I
were
was
a
like,
dynamic duo.
Yeah, but
that
Gronk
could
and
not
Brady
be stopped.
make a great team.
The two of them were impressive.
I will not
Their
deny
feats
they
of
were
strength.
They were pretty awesome at what they were doing. I just don't like the Bucks.
People
do
may
you
not
even
know
care
this,
about football?
but me and Gronk used to be in some of the same circles.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Back in the days,
Yeah.
man. And so, while I've never actually met him, we were usually days apart from seeing each other.
You just miss like
Basically,
people walk in and go, Anthony, you just missed Gronk. He was just
was
here
right
2
there.
days ago.
So-
and you're like, dang it.
well, so I knew this
I was thinking about him.
DJ who was not very popular at the time. They got a lot more popular, named Justin Blau, right? And so I met this guy several times, and just super cool, right? Well, this guy apparently became friends with Gronk, right? And they would hang out, right? So then they would be like, they'd post these pictures and stuff like that. And then I'd go down to Vegas for whatever reason, and it'd be like days missing the festivities of those things. But I always like to say, I'm like, hey, a friend of Justin, you're a friend of mine.
Yeah, right.
But I think that he probably is way too cool for me in the first place.
That's probably one way.
He probably listens to our podcast.
But very interesting that he's a fan of dance music. I enjoy that.
Doubt.
Yeah. So pretty cool though. I don't know. Sports ball though, not really my thing.
Sure.
Kind of a waste and of time that was. But I did enjoy some really good food.
I was going to say, what about the food though?
Yeah. What do you guys eat?
We made what I refer to as stony dip.
Oh, you did make your dip. Yeah, that is your famous.
Yeah, you've
stuff.
mentioned that before. What all goes into that again?
It's a can of refried. Well, if you're making a single, like enough for like 3 or 4 people,
Okay.
it's a can of refried beans,
Okay.
half a can of paste picante,
Ooh.
or half a jar of paste in there, and then like probably a good pound of cheese.
Okay, so a whole pound.
Yeah.
Is that needed?
Is there
Yes.
ever a bad
Okay.
time to add
So,
cheese to that?
could
so
sort
you
of thing?
want
potentially-
you want it so that when you dip it in and it's all boiled and
Yeah.
stirred and mixed together, so the cheese gets melted inside of it. So when you like dip, you pull basically beans with picante sauce, and you can pick
Yeah.
any style. So if you want it mild or medium or hot, you can add, And then I add a little bit of salt, a little bit of kosher salt, and a little bit of fresh ground pepper on there. Stir that in.
Kosher salt for texture.
And
yeah.
then I've got elote seasoning
Ooh.
that I sprinkle a little bit on
Like
there.
corn elote?
Yes.
Like mayo? And
Yeah.
Corn?
I sprinkle the seasoning on, and then I stir it up.
Yeah.
And then
Your
the goal,
hands.
yeah, with my hands, chips, they're all broken off in there. But so I get it all stirred up, and then I pour it into a bowl, and then we put more cheese on top.
Yeah.
So it's a very cheesy dip.
And it's a
Dense.
warm dip, right? Okay, it's a warm dip.
You can eat
No,
it
it's
all the way
frigid.
till you can eat it all the way till it's cold.
Yeah.
But the fun part is when it's still warm and hot, and the cheese is just melting. It's like you're just pulling.
So do you like
beans
a
and
medium
cheese out.
cheddar? Do you have like a preference on the
I like
cheese?
sharp.
Oh, I love sharp cheddar.
So I do a lot of sharp. I do it all grated.
Yeah.
Super sharp cheddar in there.
Nice.
And then anyway, that's what we eat. And so we don't eat it at the Super Bowl, but that's usually I reserve it for New Year's Eve. Hadley loves it and eats it like crazy, which is great. It's one of the reasons she's my favorite. Augie does not like it, so we made him nachos.
Oh.
Could you potentially put nacho cheese in
You could, yeah.
your dip?
Yeah. You could put sour cream. You could put guac. You could make a multi-layer dip if you wanted to. But
have you ever told
I
the
don't.
origin of the dip of this dip name on how it was created?
So prior to having
He's like,
children,
hold on.
so prior to having children, I called it stoner dip.
Yeah.
And what it was it came out of a need or necessity to eat, consume calories.
Right. Yeah. I need to knock this hanger
It was a bit of a
out.
hangry feeling.
Yeah.
So went to my cabinet and found, I got some refried beans. What else could I throw in here? I was warming them up. Walked in, looked in the fridge, found half a jar of salsa in there. Paste picante salsa.
Guess what, buddy? You're going in.
And I had a
6
block
months ago.
and I had a block of cheese. And I thought,
I'm just hungry enough. This is going to
let's
work.
just do this. And I did it. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing.
Yeah.
Now, then I met my wife and I made it one night for her. The other great thing this can be is a bean burrito
Oh, okay.
filling.
It could be a
Yeah.
bean burrito.
You could
yeah.
do bean burritos with this
Basically
if you wanted
sounds
to.
like it,
It's
yeah.
literally what you're basically making. So you could do it that way. But that is what I did. I started making this for my wife, and she was like, oh, this is so good. And then on New Year's Eve, we'd go over to her sister's house and play board games before we had kids. Mm-hmm. So we'd go hang out there. So she was like, you should bring your dip. You should make that dip that you make. And so we made it. And then her sister started going, oh, Levi's making a stoner dip. I got to come over and have it. Like, and that was the big thing, was everyone was like, oh, this is so good. So then when I had kids, we had to call it Stony Dip because we needed to not.
Little course
I don't want my
correction
children
there.
going, oh, my dad made stoner dip, like to their friends at school.
Yeah.
So that was kind of that was we mixed it up, and it was my brother and I. We made this concoction.
Could you throw potentially maybe some ground beef inside there?
You could do whatever you want.
Bacon?
To it. Make it yours.
Ow.
But at the time, that was
this,
how I started.
So, because I like this starting point, right? But I'm into spicy things, right?
Yeah,
You skip
so
the
put hot,
refried
you could
beans,
put-
you go straight to chili.
Yeah,
just
you
dump
could put
chili
hot
in there.
Well,
paste
I-
picante sauce in there.
What I would love to do is slice up some fresh jalapenos, right? And some fresh cilantro.
You don't need to
and put
because
it on
if
top.
you get thick and chunky paste in the
Yeah, but those
in the
jalapenos aren't that spicy
hot,
though.
you get a lot of the great textures and flavors, especially thick and chunky organic. One of the great
Yeah.
many flavors of paste picante sauce.
Maybe a habanero would
Made
would
in
really
San
take it to the
Antonio,
next
I was gonna say a
level.
habanero with like peach, little peach habanero action, but the cheese is
The
gonna screw with
cheese
that.
throws it off.
The
Dane.
cheese throws it. But
So
if not for that,
yeah.
a
Anyway.
little fruit mixed in with your spice is really nice in
All
other
right.
things.
Well, as much as I've enjoyed this
Yeah,
tangent,
no, I think-
Dane,
Fruit and spice.
Dane, what did you do this weekend?
So I was gonna say I had my own bit of a puppy bowl as well.
you did?
Yeah. So
How many puppies
at the
did you
Super
have
Bowl
there?
party I went to?
Yeah.
They had a new puppy, so naturally I just played with the dogs the whole time.
Must
we
be
were watching
nice.
the game.
Wow.
So,
Oh, look,
yeah,
there's
There's a
Dane.
black German Shepherd named Toka.
Oh,
Wow.
man.
Beautiful
And
dog.
then there was a boxer over there, and then this little puppy is going to grow up to be probably a 200-pound shepherd, based on how
the
big he is
heck?
already.
That's so freaking
But
cute.
it was really
oh my gosh,
cute
I
and
miss
wiggly,
puppies.
and I just love dogs. So yeah, I just had to have an excuse to share video clips.
that
of
was
me
really
petting
nice.
dogs.
Are you just at some random
So no,
person's
I'm
house?
at my buddy Cody's
Is that
house.
like a neighbor down the street? Or?
No, they're closer. They're a few miles away, but we all hung out, just like 5-6 of us, and we just had some nice hors d'oeuvres and stuff, and then played with
He's
dogs.
look, he's enjoying a burrito.
Oh yeah, he had
burrito
his own
himself.
burrito. That's right.
Delicious.
So yeah, that was basically it there, but you get the idea. So
very
hey,
nice.
you know what? There's ties between all
Yeah,
of our weekends, just here and there. But yeah, I'll be honest. I'm a Seahawks fan, so I'm a little left in the cold on this one, but that's okay.
Yeah.
I'm not a bandwagoner though. I've been one since I was a little kid. Back
Okay.
when Warren Moon was playing, so it's been a minute.
Pull
Yeah.
from the
But
deeps.
New
even
Moon.
then, I'm not as involved in sports as I used to be. So
Well, did you
If
know
you couldn't
that
tell.
technically the Twilight series was filmed in Washington?
Yeah.
yes,
Near
yes,
Squim.
it was. It's about 45 minutes away from where I live for a long
No,
time.
it was not.
Yeah.
Yes.
Have you ever been there?
Yes. There's a
Forks.
Twilight
It's called
Cafe in
Forks,
their town.
Washington.
I want to go.
Like
You
to go
guys
there?
want to go?
That'd be a
the
great
rag
trip.
company does forks.
Oh, that'd be amazing. I'd love that.
It's not great. Nick is
says
totally
it's
right. He just
terrible.
says it's terrible. it's not great.
I gotta
it's just
experience
it's
it for
like
myself.
a little like sawmill type town. Like
Yeah.
it's just a little
Sounds
sleepy
cute. I
town.
want to go check it out.
There's not a lot going on there, honestly. Squim, though,
Well,
you probably
there's
like
vampires.
Squim, and you probably
Vampires,
think Port Angeles
werewolves.
is kind
Yeah.
of cool, but Port Angeles, as I remember it, was still pretty industrially. But, they have their character. I just kind of like that vibe. Like when we went to Norfolk, Virginia, Port Angeles feels very similar to that.
Okay.
Okay, so anyways, continue on. So your weekend, you went over to your friend Cody's. You had some
yeah,
food.
went over to my buddy Cody's house, had Brandon there, and it was basically the dogs, the wives, the girlfriends, the buds, and then played a little Wii bowling after the game was over.
I haven't played that forever.
Yeah, just basically just threw that out there and
Yeah,
had some
fun.
fun.
nice.
But yeah, there wasn't a lot to it, honestly. One thing I did do, because everybody's always interested in my furniture updates, I got myself a floor lamp.
Nice.
So excited.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Did you go
it's
down
called
a
a
Scandinavian
Shangri-La
design?
floor lamp. It's
Also
very
from
tall,
the Scandinavian supply
triangular,
store.
hollow down the middle,
Ooh.
and
Ooh.
puts a nice warm glow in the room. I love it. Put a dead center
In the middle of the room?
basically next to my couch.
Oh, okay. All
It's
right.
not just
I thought like it's instead of the coffee table, we
It's
put
like-
a lamp.
It's
a
just so
seance
happens-
lamp. So
Television?
sometimes
It
we
just
like
so
to pray
happens
to
that
it.
the edge
and
of the sofa is right near the middle of the
Okay,
room. So when
yeah,
you put the
middle
lamp
of the
there,
room
it gives
area,
the whole
seating
room
area.
that's just like a
Beautiful.
beautiful warm.
I was going to ask why there's pig's blood on the floor.
No,
Dane. I was like, why do you have all
no,
this?
no.
What is all these feathers? What's going on in
If
this
it was
room?
flickering, you might be worried about seeing a ritual, but it's static. So yeah, I just like it a
Yeah.
lot. That, and I'm trying to maintain my corn plants' lives. One is doing better than the other.
Good.
So the
Yeah.
one in the front of the house gets more sunlight.
So
It's pretty
when are we
happy.
going to be able to harvest this corn?
As far as I know, no actual corn grows on it.
Oh.
I've learned this
So
after the fact.
could you just plant some corn alongside those corn plants?
It
so
might
you'd
get
have some
crowded in there.
stalks that would
If
come
I
up.
had stalks grow out, you know how tall stalks get?
Yeah, about 6 feet. They go to the ceiling. You got enough room in that ceiling.
Maybe.
I think it'd be delightful. Really add a lot of
Hey, honey, corn's
warmth.
ready.
Yeah, pull off a fresh ear. Night.
Why
just
not?
Cut it in half, boil it.
Next thing you know, it's going back into your stony dip.
You're like,
that's
oh
right.
man,
That's the next thing that
fresh
gets
corn
added.
in the
Fresh
stony
cone.
dip. Yeah.
So that was really basically
just
it.
make some elote.
The other thing. Oh, I just remembered a story I want to tell that's from like 2 weeks ago, but it's worth telling. So the other thing I did was help shoot some video for my brother.
Oh,
As
yeah.
you know, he's got his business. They got this crazy technology they're building out. I don't know how specific I can really be about it, but we helped him shoot
Wanted some like company videos, like
kind of like a how-to video, basically,
yeah.
for how to use the devices they're making and for like operators who need them. But then it's also a matter of like creating the scenario. So you have to show in like real time, like the readouts versus the device and how it's getting
yeah.
the readings and stuff. So it's really interesting to do. But Gabe and I worked together on that.
Oh, nice.
So
Good.
he and I both took gear over and we set up at, I guess, one of Corey's coworkers' houses that was like a good test bed for this stuff. It was kind of over on the far side of town, kind of over by Harris Ranch.
Yeah, beautiful area.
Yeah, just kind of more
beautiful
deserty
area.
out
I
there.
live over there.
Yeah, and it was really nice out there. But I guess they all went for a run afterwards because they're crazy and they're trying to get in shape or something. Huh. But yeah, no, it was fun getting that. Totally got a bunch of stuff on my phone on that I recorded video using the phone with the iPhone 12. Actually, the footage looks really good with it. So
Great footage of all these phones.
in
yeah.
addition to using the regular Sony cameras that we have. So
Yeah.
it's kind of like a mixed bag, but I'm actually really happy with how it
Nice.
turned out. The other thing was, and Anthony loves these stories because they're just awkward.
My favorite.
Okay.
I'm ready.
So this is a little inside baseball. I think I sent the text to you guys where I said that drive-through worker who was like complimenting my
yeah.
car.
Yes.
And it was just like, oh man, cool car, man. Thought that was, is this an Ultima? He's like, yes,
Yeah.
is this an Ultima? I'm like, no. And where you can't tell, you're like, is this person
Sarcasm.
like genuinely asking or are they just messing with me?
Yeah,
Like,
right.
What's it going to be? And I was like, oh no, it's
You're like, no, this is a Toyota truck.
it's a Jaguar. And it's like, oh, Jaguar, that's cool. Wait, aren't those like total pieces of beep? I was like, oh, yeah, well, some are. Just awkward back and forth. And at the end,
Yeah.
he's like, all right, I just want to make sure an Ultima. Well, I had literally the next day, I went to go get sushi from Sakana that following evening, the next night, and I had another kid mess with me. I don't know how I'm inviting this.
no.
I basically, to the one in Meridian, there's a parking spaces in front of the building, and the handicap spaces are on the side of the building.
exactly what you're talking
but then
about.
you back into the spaces that are on the other side of the
which
lot
is
that still face the
not a
building.
credit union, but it's a what's it called? It's some type of financial.
Yeah, it's next to some like bank institution, credit union
Yeah.
stuff. But there's the Sakana Sushi, and I was like, okay, I'll get the one closer to my house so it'll be ready and by the time I get there, because it's like
Yeah.
that long to get there. I'm backing into the space, and I realize, like, I always try and be
Dane always
conscientious
has to
to
back
stick in my
in.
headlights.
Well, it's called. My dad calls it show position.
Show position. But I also don't like being a jerk who shines their headlights into like a dining room. I don't
okay.
want to
Yeah.
be that guy. It's just rude. But you can't.
I
help
usually
it
put my
sometimes.
high beams on
Like,
and my
hey,
fog
wake up.
lights when I pull.
But
them.
in this case, no, I backed into the space. And you recall that day I've been wearing that G-Technic vest a lot,
Yeah.
so I had that on.
looking
Don't worry,
fresh.
it's important to the story. So
looking
back
fresh,
into the
looking
space,
hip.
get out, and I start walking in, and my order's ready. And there's an older gentleman, and then there's this kid. This kid was like probably like 17 or 18 or something. And the older guy starts helping me, like filling out my order. I'm paying for it. And the kid looks up, is like, hey, was it you backing up in there? I was like, oh, yeah. And then he's looking at me, kind of weird. Like, I don't know if he's all there or not, but he's just like, well, what is it? I'm kind of thinking like, oh, the car. He wants to know what the car. And of course, like, then you're a jerk if you like say the wrong thing. You're like, oh, it's a Jaguar, actually. It's
it's
and
a
I say that, and
high-performance machine.
he goes, oh, good for you. No, I didn't mean that. It's just like, oh, what? And he points at my vest, and he's like, what is that, like your business or something? He sees the G-Technic written on it.
Oh,
And I'm just like, that's one of the brands we carry. And he goes, oh, what do you guys do? And we're like, well, we sell like car detailing supplies and I guess I'm the media creative director, like do that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, cool.
You don't guess. You are.
You
Well,
are.
that's the problem is
You are.
too humble.
Yeah, Dane.
I'm always
Dane,
like,
Dane, you can't be that humble when you drive a Jaguar. You just say it how it is. Say, yeah, I'm the creative director, and I bought that Jag with the money. So there's that.
the way he said, he's just like, I said Jaguar. He's like, oh, good for you. I was just like,
Yeah.
But then it got worse.
Oh no!
Oh no!
So this kid's eyeballing it. He's just like, okay, that's cool. And he's like, hey, guess what? And I was like, what?
How old was this kid?
Like 17 or he's like Jimmy's age, basically.
Okay.
Like Sebastian Jimmy.
Okay.
Age. He's
Like
right
the
there.
annoying age, right? No
Like
offense,
he
Jimmy.
definitely
We love
he
you.
was exuding some low key Zoomer energy.
Okay.
So I was confident that he was messing with me, but this next line really set off the alarm.
Okay.
He goes, hey, so you like cars, right? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, so you know a lot about cars? And I'm like, oh God, what is this? And he goes, well, yeah, that's cool. You got the Jag. I got a Lamborghini. And I'm just like, okay. And the problem is, in Meridian and Eagle, you can't be sure that a teenager doesn't have that because some of them do. Some of them drive around in Audi R8s and stuff like that. It's like, okay, maybe you have a Gallardo or a Huracan. I don't know for sure.
Yeah.
But then he follows up with, yeah, I got a Lamborghini. My parents got it for me for my graduation. I'm like, I still don't know if you're lying to me because that could check out in this particular
is
area.
eating-
How?
Sushi.
But you were in the pickup order area.
I'm standing at the front counter, and this kid is just like
Now, this
chatting
isn't-
me up.
this
but
while
he
the
doesn't
guy-
work there.
He works there.
Oh, he works there. Okay.
Yes, he worked the front counter with the older guy. He was helping like take orders off the
Oh,
phone
this
and
wasn't
do
just a
stuff like
kid
that.
in the-
But the kid was clearly bored, and he's just like, oh, I can mess with this guy who's like probably,
Oh, well,
he looks old to me.
Be
but
prepared, Yelp, because we're about to leave you one hell of a review.
No, it was cracking me up after the fact. I told Liz she couldn't stop laughing afterwards because this is how my brain works. The kid was, yeah, I got a Lamborghini. I got it for a graduation present. My parents got it for me. It's an Aventador, and I'm just like, oh, no, kid, you're lying. That car costs as much as most houses around here. No, you don't. You don't have an Aventador. A used Gallardo, I could see.
What if his
maybe
parents
even a
owned
used Huracan,
Sakura?
but
Or
an Aventador, no, you don't have that. And for all I know, he could just be secretly like Stradman kid. But what's he doing working at a sushi restaurant? But then again, it's like, okay. So I know I'm dragging this out. So and then he follows up and he makes it more ridiculous. He's just like, yeah, I got it, but I put some mods on or whatever. It's actually parked out back, and he said it so confidently that like a lesser person would have thought he was dead serious. And I'm just watching this like, no, when Jimmy messes with me, I know this is how it feels. So I know you've got to be lying to me.
Yeah.
And I just decided, okay, fine, take the thing. And he's just like, yeah, it's pretty cool. So, yeah, it's cool to have a car. So I'm like, yeah, sure, bud. And I gave like this really sarcastic, like, on my way out the door. And as I'm heading out, I'm like, I'm going to look behind the building, but I'm not going to let him know I'm looking behind the building. But I need to know.
Yeah.
So I get into my car. I turn left like I'm heading for the exit out to the thing. And I head out. But then I loop around and I come back in the back. Like, this is like a big business complex area. Drive up to the back of the building. It's like Passat, Golf,
Aventador.
Civic. And then there was a Maserati. And I was just like, no. And there was no Lamborghini. I'm like, I knew it. This little lion. It's like, I just had to know.
Man.
Because around it, that's the kind of thing that I can't let go of until I know.
Yeah.
And so I was just like, okay. And then I decided the next time I order sushi, I'm not going to that one. But it was so dumb.
Yeah,
It
I
was
think
so
you need to give him a
dumb.
good Yelp review. The guy could have that Zoomer sarcasm that like it runs so deep.
It was the driest too. Like I make it sound goofier than it was. He said it with the straightest face, super matter of fact. Like he's BSing you, and you're pretty sure he's BSing you, but it was convincing enough. Like the right person can get away with that. And this kid was on the borderline. He probably could have gotten away with it if he just managed to keep
that's
it realistic. But saying an Aventador is what totally. I was like, no.
So that's when you say, so what's in it? Gallo 24, Gallo 25, and then just wait for your answer. Fast and Furious reference, by the way.
Yeah. But here's the problem is I knew he must have been testing me because I'm like, if this kid knows cars and he's telling me this obviously crazy thing and I'm like nodding along, he assumes I don't know anything about cars. And that made me more mad than the fact that whether or not he had one in the back. I'm like, you don't get to judge my intelligence about cars. So I was totally
People need to
irritated
understand.
at that.
Dane knows everything about cars, which is why he picked up the Jag because it's a Fox body Mustang.
So you guys
It's the best platform, rear-wheel drive,
I
5-liter
hope that you
V8
guys-
with a supercharger.
But I hope
Perfect.
that you guys have had enough experiences. So, I try to say this.
I don't profess to know everything. I just know my limits.
No. So there is.
I'm sorry that
is,
kid tried to challenge it.
There is many different types of.
He was so bold to challenge it. I was just like, no,
Yeah.
you don't know.
So there's many different types of car people, right? There's a wide variety of car people
Correct.
out there,
We
right?
represent
I
many
tell
different
people
parts of that.
80% of the car people out there are freaking weirdos. Absolutely. 100%. They're strange people. Typically, there are a lot of people that are really quiet people that like the loud, attention-grabbing thought of a cool car. But really, they're just a lot of strange people, right? Then you have the people that it's like the compensation kind of ideology, whatever you want to call it, right? Ideology, where they feel like they have to essentially lie about a lot of different car-related topics or car-related knowledge to make themselves sound like they know more than the other. And I don't really know how this works, right? I don't know if they feel like lesser of a person because maybe they don't have as cool of a car. Or, we've all met this type of person, right?
Yeah, it's a rotary, but I actually had a piston shoot out of the side of the blah, blah, blah.
Exactly,
it's like,
right?
okay,
it had an LS swap in it yesterday. And you're like, no, it didn't. You're so full of it. There's those type of car people that are like compulsive liars that for some reason feel like they have to, I don't know, impress everybody. But that's a large portion of them.
It's a deep-seated
and then you have the
insecurity.
quiet people who don't really talk and are really awkward. Those are my favorite because those are the people that you'll see online, right? And they'll look like some really talkative person or somebody really cool that you like to meet.
They seem like they're going to be really extroverted.
Their photos are loud, their videos are loud, their entire they create this perception of that they're this loud, fun, energetic person, and then you meet them in person.
We've met several
and
of
they
these
are
people.
literally the most quiet, most secluded person you'll ever meet. And you think that can't be you. You're the person with the bright yellow, M3 that's got all the crazy mods on it and all this sorts of stuff. And they say, "Yeah, my name's Sean. Hi. I like my
It's
car."
more common than you think, though. Yeah.
And there's a ton of those types of people out there. But what I think, though, we've all meet these type of people. But my favorite, though, are the people that there's always this guy at O'Reilly's. There's always this guy at an auto parts store, right? That will ask you what you're doing. Hey, what kind of project you got going on? And you say, I'm doing this. And then that opens up the door for a complete conversation about their life and their cars, right?
Or if you say blinker fluid and then they chuckle and walk away.
Yeah, well, my favorite is the guy over at O'Reilly's. I go up there and I pull up, and I think I pulled up my Civic one day, and he says, "Oh, nice Civic, pretty fast." And I said, "No, not at all. It's got 120 horsepower."
That's the first test right there. Let's see how full
pretty
of it you
slow.
are.
And he says, "Yeah, I know. I got myself a little tuner girl myself, right?" And then he pulls up. This guy's an older, like a 50-year-old guy, pulls up a picture of his BRZ, and he's like, "Yeah, I named her Rose because anything that almost kills you deserves a name, and she's almost killed me twice." And he's like, "Yeah, supercharged."
What have you done to this BRC to make it
it's
actually harmful to your health?
It's one of those weird things where I'm not even making this up. I told Nate this story like 5 times. I've seen this guy all the freaking time, and this guy always finds a way to talk about his car or whatever it may be. And then I remember it was like, I think it was like a couple weeks later. I show up back up in the Evo, right? And
What happened to the Civic?
Yeah, and he's like, "Oh, I see you got a new car there." And I say, "Oh no, this is just my other car." And he's just like, "Yeah, well, I told you about my Japanese princess, right?" And I said, "The BRZ," and he's just like, "Yeah, my BRZ. Yeah, I took her out this weekend. Got a little rowdy, I think I'm gonna have me put some new tires on it, just get a little more grip, coming out of the apex." And I'm just like, what are you talking about, man? You're freaking, you're
Sounds
crazy.
like a man after my own heart.
You know what, though? You know what? I applaud enthusiasm.
There's no sarcasm. It's all seriousness, and I
he
can't
lives,
stand
eats,
it.
sleeps, and breathes it.
But
I can't stand it.
We will want to crack a joke, but I I can't be mad at somebody having enthusiasm
No,
about the thing
no,
that they
now-
care about and like. Like, that's great.
No,
I
just don't
think
lie
back-
about it.
Now, the
So-
kid behind the counter at the sushi restaurant was a lying sack of, but anyway,
don't like people
besides
that lie
that.
about
20
it.
years ago, I was working at Dennis Dillon.
Yeah.
At Custom Auto Finish. It was a custom shop for Dennis Dillon prior to Sawtooth is the name of the company. Sawtooth builds a SEMA truck every year. You guys can Google it, look them up. You can do the Sawtooth off-road Dennis Dillon SEMA builds. Our stickers have been on the last 2 SEMA builds of theirs. But basically 20 years ago, I was 21 years old. And I had just turned 21 and I'd just gotten hired on at, I'd left the car wash, went to go work for Custom Auto Finish, doing vinyl and pinstriping. So I was laying vinyl graphics on the sides of minivans.
Oh, yeah.
I was putting Urban Warrior on the frontiers,
Scallops.
putting some scallops down, laying hand-painted pinstripes on old man's Cadillacs.
Wow.
Ooh, did you do like the old couples who have the RVs that get pulled by the trucks that have like the ducks and the teal stripes on them?
Yeah,
all
or
kind
the
of, like,
geometric patterns.
the very like classic
Yeah.
older guy but clean truck, but like those graphics.
The
on
90s,
side.
the 90s
yeah, you
water
know what
cup
I'm
design.
talking about. You know what I'm
The
talking
90s
about.
water cup.
Literally, that's what I was. So that's what I was doing, right? And if I did anything crazy, they'd get like I had to make little stickers, like I'd do all that. So working there, we did a ton of stuff in that shop. We did tint, we did wheels, we did tires, we did paint and body, graphics, we did lowering, we did body kits, and a lot of stuff just from the shop. Now, there was a kid that worked there, 2 of them. One loved building lowriders. Another guy went on to be an actual car builder. He lives in Washington and he builds some really nice stuff. Builds a lot of mini trucks and lowered trucks. The other guy still builds lowriders, and I think Bart's taking a picture of his latest 63 Impala. So these 2 guys are really great builders. Did a very good job. This one kid came in to come work with us. He was the car enthusiast who loved cars so much and knew every car model, but didn't know mechanically how a car worked, period.
Oh, I can relate to that early on.
But I mean, like, completely could not figure out how a car
just,
worked.
like, totally helpless.
Just loved them more than anything, but couldn't understand how they worked. So we're sitting there, when the 3 of us are out. We went and got lunch, and we come back, and I had my Oldsmobile, the one tattooed on my arm.
Oh yeah.
So I pull my Oldsmobile up. Both guys were named Jason. Jason pulls up his, he had an Integra that he had painted himself, and it was this really cool panel paint job that he had built. It was purple and white and turquoise, and it was really It was
Yikes.
1999.
I was gonna say that's the
Perfect.
90s.
Sounds about
baby.
right, though.
right?
Yeah.
Chrome wheels.
Ugh.
So this thing was wicked, right?
Yeah.
For 1999.
Oh god.
Other Jason rolls up. I'm driving my 76 Oldsmobile. He's rolling his 74 Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme on hydraulics and 13-inch wires. Yeah. So we pull in, all 3 of us come back from lunch, we're sitting there, and this kid comes out. And he goes, "Hey guys, wow, that's really cool. So is that your car club?" To Jason. Jason has a sticker on his back window that says High Rollers Car Club in Old English. And Jason's like, "Yeah, it's just a car club I belong to that I run and this." And he's like, cool. "Levi, I see you don't have a sticker on your car club, but you have the same kind of car as him. Why don't you join his car club?" And I was like, "Well, because I don't have hydraulics and I don't have tiny wheels."
Oh.
And he's like, "Oh, okay, yeah, that's cool. That's cool."
Dane's here, bro.
Then he looks at the Jason and he goes, "Why don't you have his car club sticker on your car?" And he goes, "Because this is Integra. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not going to put a that doesn't match." And he goes, "Someday I'm going to create a car club for everybody." And he's
It's
like,
called the Road.
this is his car club name. High Rollers. The other guy was in Relaxed Atmosphere with his mini trucks and his other trucks. His car club, Southeastern Association, first chapter of Hot Rods, Customs, and the Imports.
Okay.
That's going to be my car club name.
Really rolls up.
Yeah, I was like,
quite-
and then he looked at me and said, I need you to make me a sticker for that.
Yeah.
And I said,
It's a whole bad
that is a paragraph that is not going to work.
We the people.
Sir, we've run out of vinyl. There's none left.
But that was the kind of, and then, so one day Jason was washing his car and he started hopping his lowrider out in the parking lot just for fun.
Yeah.
Just to show all of us. He's like, hey, do you guys ever want to see this? Like, and it's fun. If you've never seen a
It's
lowrider
fun.
dance,
Totally.
It's a good time.
it doesn't matter who
Doesn't
you are.
matter
You're
if you like it or not. It's
this
fun.
is the
It's
greatest
cool.
thing I've ever seen. This car is jumping. Like, this is fun.
Yeah.
So this kid stands next to it and starts to move his hand, like trying to be like he's the one bouncing it on the hood. All of a sudden, one of the Ram breaks the A-arm off of the right front tire.
Yeah.
Right. So all of a sudden the car is now hobbled. So it only can't move anymore on that side. And Jason's like, nah, he's all pissed and screaming.
Yeah.
And the kid goes, was it because I was doing this?
Oh, no.
Is that why I did that?
Oh, no. Poor baby. No, you're not a magician.
And all of us like stopped and just
Cast a
kind of looked
spell.
at the kid. Like, all of us stopped and looked at the kid and we were like, wait a minute.
You got psychic powers now?
Are you serious?
Do you know the hydraulic forces that are pushed on that car and the fact that it's impacted the concrete at that rate? And that's just normal mechanics.
Yeah.
Like, it means he didn't build it right.
Yeah.
He didn't
boy.
strengthen that frame. That kid was like, he literally couldn't get it out of his head. The next like 4 hours, he was out there like sweeping floors, dumping trashes, and he was like, gosh, I really hope it wasn't because I was doing this. And he was dead serious about it. And all of us were like, is he messing with us?
Yeah.
Like, he was so straight faced, and now he may have been the greatest. Like,
maybe he was just
he was
the best.
100% truthful and was like, I got these guys going. They think I'm but he was so like just innocent and pure about it. He was so worried. He's like, do you need me to go to the junkyard and get you a new A-arm for that? For like a 74 Oldsmobile. I think they made those on Buicks and other stuff. I'm sure I could figure out how to get one. Like, and the whole time he's like, don't worry about it, man. Don't worry about it. It's not like, it wasn't your fault.
Oh, man.
Like, but I know that weird level of, I don't know if he's messing with us, but that was my favorite thing. That was the first time I encountered a kid who truly didn't seem to know, but he loved cars more than anything. He'd talk about cars, talk about building cars, talking about Fast and Furious, talking about Hot Wheels that he had. Like, that kid,
he's passionate about it. Let him be passionate.
He was like Jimmy's age.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that have a lot of good car knowledge, right? And they know they know the exact engine that went into this car, and they have all that knowledge, right? But I think it is always interesting when you go to try to extract a little bit more information out of them, or try to talk to them about cars, maybe even working on cars, and that's where they're, they can't reach their limitations on what they can do. Well, for example, like Sebastian, one of our video editors here, he knows a ton about cars. He actually really likes cars, right?
Yeah.
He doesn't own a car that
Didn't even necessarily know that about him going in.
Yeah,
Like,
which he
was
doesn't
surprising,
technically
actually.
own a car that he likes to work on. I mean, he has just his Volvo. I think
The black
his
Volvo you've
parents.
seen in some of our
but
videos.
it's but he's very interested in that kind of stuff, and so
he's got some pretty good taste.
and he
in those
knows,
Hot
and he's
Wheels
got
on
good
his
taste,
desk.
and he's got a ton of Hot Wheels and stuff like that. But that's just one of those things where it's like you could see somebody like that either really getting their hands dirty and learning a lot more about cars, or just kind of having that general knowledge to be able to hold up a conversation. Which is either way, it's still cool.
Well, and I like I was saying before, I just want to encourage the enthusiasm. Like, it's okay to make fun of things that are dumb. That's okay. But at the same time, don't make somebody feel like a piece of crap just because they don't know the thing you know all about. Like, I, in my travels as a car enthusiast, have met many a person who had an incredibly deep knowledge of, say, like Hondas or something like that, and they go down the well. Yeah, just any particular like niche you want to find, and they can drill down on that to the nth degree. But as soon as you start talking about, and then there's also these particular exotics or old Group B rally cars, they're just like, huh? What? And they're lost, like they don't know. But at the same time, they have this incredible knowledge here. Everybody's a little bit different, and you just give them that space to be an enthusiast in their space. That's great. If they want to be broad, I'm particularly broad. I like a lot of different things. Like Adam Huber left that comment on my post of like our 5 cars or whatever it is. Like, you, out of anybody here, I think, out of anybody I know, have the most eclectic collection of previously owned cars that I've seen. And then, of course, Tavares weighed in and said, dude, I'm right here.
Yeah.
But, yeah, no, if I'm going to get beaten by anybody, I'm glad it was him.
Yeah.
But, no, it was just, it's one of those things where everybody's got their thing. Your Hondas.
Speaking of the thing, what did you do this weekend with your cars,
You did it,
Anthony?
Thanks for asking me, Levi. So Friday night, spent a few hours in the sim. Obviously, needed to ramp myself up, just kind of get going a little bit.
Mess with the fleet, so to speak.
Yeah, get a taste of some real power, as some would say. And so
he cycled that engine.
Yeah. So I was actually going to coat my new wheels, or not my new wheels, but my freshly powder coated wheels. So I told you guys last week, I had an extra set of BBS wheels for my Evo that I had actually given to my brother when he had his Mazda Speed, because it's the same lug pattern, right?
Yeah.
He ran those wheels for, I don't know, a couple of years, right? I gave him the wheels and the tires, but when I gave them to him, they were perfectly powder. They're a satin powder coat. They were in good shape, right? Nothing wrong with them. Well, he ended up curbing, I think, 3 of the 4, and then he bent 2 of the 4, right? Ooh. That's a forged BBS wheel.
Yeah, it's hard to bend them.
That's
how
not
the
easy
hell can you? I don't know. I have no idea.
Speed bump at 60 miles an hour.
I have no idea. But anyways, God bless my brother. The car, he did take really good care of his car, just not the wheels, right? So, anyways, I got the wheels back from my parents because they've been storing them forever. So I said, hey, I'm just going to take these back. Got the tires dismounted, went down to Hubcap Andy's down the road, who does wheel repair and powder coating all in-house. They are the only wheel repair place in all of Boise. I don't know if you guys know that.
Yeah.
But they're really good.
And they're
Thank
really
goodness.
good.
They're
And so took them down, had them repowder coated, had them basically they fixed the 2 bends.
Fully refurbished
They fully refurbished them.
Looked great.
I mean, it was great because they buzzed out and re-sanded down kind of the hub areas and the lug areas. And so it was just a really perfect, really, really good refinishing. And so I had them redone in gloss black, but I had them shot cold, whatever the heck that means. I don't know a ton about powder coating. But
what effect does that
iron
have?
is cold. So basically, because I've become a aficionado of powder coating, because I went to the field trip that we had at the powder coating facility.
You'll see that later.
Me and Jimmy. So they put them in the oven and they heat them up.
Correct.
First. Then they bring them out. While they're still hot, they can spray them.
Yeah.
And they'll lay the powder on them. So when it's hot, it attracts a little better.
I heard static charge. Had
It's got a little bit about that. So shooting them cold means they pulled them out, let them cool, then sprayed them, then put them in the oven.
Yeah.
So it's a different layer. He was basically telling us that like you get different color variation and you get different texture based on heat cycle. Like if it's hot, it has more of a weird kind of flow. If it's cold, it's more of a pattern. Kind of flake style.
So I told them I wanted to shoot it cold because they asked me, they said, how glossy do you want these? And I said, I don't want them super glossy.
Yeah, and if they're hot, they're very glossy.
Well, I don't want them like mirror finish because if it's a mirror finish, they are going to show a swirl and a scratch so bad that I don't want to deal with that. I want them like to a lesser degree between like a satin and a gloss, right? And they said, well, if we shoot the black, because they use prismatic powders, I can't remember what gloss black they use or what it's called, but they said if they shoot it cold, it will be less glossy.
Right.
It'll have roughly a little bit more texture than if it was shot hot, right? Because won't be melting all the way through. It doesn't
melt and lay
But he said
properly.
that basically that would kind of negate some of the gloss, and it would also hopefully reduce the chances of seeing as much marring and scratching. Because gloss black wheels, guys, as good as they look, that's a battle that nobody wants to face. But I think with the power of the Eagle Edgeless, I think I can face that battle, and coating, obviously, and my skills. So shot gloss black. They look great. They looked awesome. So I want to coat those. And so I think for coating those wheels, I was going to use C5. But I think I'm going to use C1 is actually what I'm probably going to use. And so I want to test out how long C1 would last on wheels and see if there's any major difference between that and C5. Because I have C5 on all my other wheels. So I'm going to do those in C1. I was going to do that Friday. Didn't have a chance. So I'm going to have to save it for another day. But anyway, on Saturday morning, woke up super early, got my Civic all ready, got it jacked up in the air, sprayed everything down with PB Blaster because it was time to install some headers or a header on the car.
Header. Single header.
One
A
bank.
single header. So I got the DC Sports. It's a ceramic 4-into-1 header. It's a one piece, so it's not a 2-piece design. And so I wanted to see if there's any more small power that I could extract out of that D series to see what would happen. So sprayed everything out with PB Blaster through the power of impact wrenches and all of the other amazing tools, right? I was able to probably swap that in about, I think like an hour. I had to take off the under tray and I had to do some other stuff. So it didn't take me very long. Scuffed it up a little bit going in on the header itself, the new one. I was kind of mad because I needed a second pair of hands.
Yeah.
What I need is I need more car friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You need to teach your wife how to work on cars. She
She would hate that. Yeah.
Look how great that would be.
No. If I were to say, hey, can you lay under the car in the puddles of PB Blaster and push this up and hold that there while I figure my life out?
Yeah.
I don't think she's going to be about that.
You can always ask me or Jason or.
Well, Dane, apparently you guys are all busy. Jason doesn't care anymore. Jason, I say, hey, Jason, do you want to come? He's like, no, I'm buying a dirt bike today, man. I'm using my Dogecoin to buy a dirt bike.
Dogecoin return to buy a dirt bike.
Cool. Well, so you just forgot about cars? He's like, yeah. So, anyways, I need more car friends locally. If you guys want to hang out with me, let me know. But anyway, so got the header installed, went took it for a rip.
Sounded like the Elantra.
It sounded pretty
honestly.
good in that video.
I think
clip
sounds
you
pretty
showed.
good, guys.
I
I'm
was
not gonna
really
lie.
impressed.
Kind of got like a little bit more of like a throaty
got a
tone out of
growl,
the
a little bit of a
exhaust.
rumble to it.
But the VTEC crossover,
Ooh.
pretty crazy.
Very pronounced
I mean,
now.
for a D series, right? So basically, on a D series motor, you only have one. It's one cam, right?
Yeah.
So basically, you only have VTEC out of the intake cam rather than the intake and the exhaust. So when you go to a double overhead cam like a B16A2, you technically have what's called two-stage VTEC, right? And I think when you go to like a 3-lobe VTEC or a newer generation of VTEC, you technically have like a 3-stage VTEC.
Sure.
Mine only has intake VTECness. That's
Right,
it,
yeah.
right?
But you can hear it.
So you can hear it, right? And yeah, it sounds pretty dang good, man. I went and took it for a rip. Really enjoyed it, and let's see. The rest of the day there ended up being a lot more sim racing, a lot more sim exercising.
Yeah.
I guess you could say. And then for Sunday, for what's it called, the Super Bowl, went over to my parents' house just to go hang out, eat some food. My dad, he's really into smoking goose. So what he does is he goes goose hunting,
interesting.
right? He'll go and take out, I think, his limit of whatever the heck he can shoot. And then what he does is he takes the meat, cuts it all up, and he smokes it on the Traeger to where he creates like a jerky out of it.
Yeah.
My mouth is watering because it is so good. It is ridiculously good. And yeah, man, it's just a smoked goose. I don't know what the heck his recipe is, but it's so, let me just say this. It's so good. He could bag it and sell it. And I've been telling him this.
What kind of goose is it? Canadian geese or? Because those are the annoying ones. I know.
Yeah.
But the problem is
It's illegal to shoot them.
Just a normal goose.
Everybody's laughing. They're like, you can't do that.
Yeah, I think it's just a normal goose.
I wish you could.
Geese.
Well, here in Boise, they are like rats. They're
Yes, they
everywhere.
are. They're
Yeah.
They
Scott
come.
right
They fly north for the or fly south for the winter, and south for Canada is Idaho. So,
Seagulls are way less annoying than Canadian geese.
Yeah. Well, so
And not nearly as mean.
I don't know, man.
Well, it
Anyways,
sounds delicious.
but the limit here is ridiculous. I want to say it's like I think you could take out like 20 in a day.
Yeah, I can see that.
Like which is makes me kind of sad.
Like I said, just let it be Canadian geese.
But I come from a family that hunts, and that's what he does, and so he'll go out and do that. But it's that good to where he could bag it, sell it. I think he could make a ton of money. I've been telling him this for a long time. I said he needs to make a sweet version, a spicy version, and like a smoked original or something. And I think that he could be very profitable off of that idea, perhaps.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of anything else I did. I pretty much just I spent, I think Saturday night I spent with the wife, and we just basically hung out, watched Ready Player One again for like the
great
5th
movie.
time. Love that movie, man.
Fun.
Do you hate that movie, Dane?
I almost watched that.
Dane hates that movie.
I wanted
movie
to love
snob.
it before I
Yeah.
saw it. Then I saw it and went, oh.
Yeah,
Why is it so bad?
I,
I think it's a good movie.
I do too.
I think it's heartfelt. I think
I
that
do
it's
too.
fun, and I like the Shining references and all the
It's
fun.
cheap nostalgia porn.
It's perfect. It's exactly.
It's
what
good
it
for
is.
that. If that's all you want is nostalgia porn, that's
Yeah.
it. You
I
got
almost
it.
watched that this weekend.
Did you really?
I literally.
I mean, granted, I'm excited to see any movie
Saturday
where,
night,
by
I
the
almost
way,
watched that.
kids, you get to see the Iron Giant and a Gundam at the same time.
That's right.
Like, that's super rad. Too bad the story is kind of,
Yeah. And then last night when I was coming home from my parents' house after watching the game, this is where it's one of those weird situations where I don't ever really know what to do. So the guy behind me driving home could obviously tell he was a drunk driver, right?
Oh.
This guy was probably, I think, 4 feet from my rear bumper, right? And what he was doing is he was gassing up, staying right on me, then backing down. And then it was a lot of swerving, right? And then there was at one point, he was in the middle of 2 lanes, right? And he was just driving straight. We took a turn together. He left his blinker on, right? And then I was coming up to a stoplight, and this guy's riding me like 5 feet away. So I'm trying to like start to brake, just tell him to, hey, you're gonna start slowing down, dude. You're gonna run into me. And so he got super close. It was just really weird behavior, and he finally kind of got out of his way so he could pass me. So how do you? I guess what I'm wondering, if you were to call in a drunk driver, because I've never actually done it, I've always thought about doing it, right? But how do you remember a license plate or be able to visualize or capture a license plate that fast when phones are so janky to where you go to take a photo at night, it won't be able to get it?
So I have pens on my visor, and I have a notepad
in
my center console, so I can just...
Yeah, because I was just wondering how the heck can you do it? Because I can't memorize something like that. My brain doesn't work that fast.
That's why I do that.
So the other thing is, like, do you call and then follow the guy? Because I don't know if you're supposed to do that either.
Give him a description, you give him a plate number, and you say the basic trajectory of where they're going. It also really
westbound helps to describe the driver's basic appearance if you can, because otherwise they'll be like, well, how do we know it was that person?
Well, it was a silver Pontiac G6 is what I remember what it was. Yeah. So I could point that kind of stuff out. But I don't. But like I said, I don't know when it comes to a plate how descriptive it's supposed to be. But I just feel bad because I've seen this stuff happen several times in my life, and I never really have done anything about it. But my fear is always going to be like
someone gets hurt later.
Because I didn't say anything. Somebody's going to get hurt or something's going to happen. I don't know. But anyways,
get a dash cam.
Maybe I will.
It's cheap now.
Something like that. I just think that don't drive drunk. It's stupid.
Yeah.
It's dumb.
It's weird. People still do that.
Yeah. Anyway, so Levi, did you do anything this week?
So thank you, Anthony, for asking. I detailed a car.
What car?
A Buick Enclave. So I detailed my friend's pickup last weekend. Interior. I did his wife's Enclave this weekend. They're a pair of architects. They're both architects, and anyway, that was what I did. I cleaned both their cars. This was more of the family car, so his truck wasn't so bad. Black interior, F-150. Just had to do the interior, washed it, the outside, dressed the tires, wiped the car down with bead maker because I'm a gentleman. And when they dropped off her car, he was like, "Oh my gosh, dude, I don't know how you do it. Like, this thing's insane. I can't believe how nice this looks." And his truck's got 160,000 miles on it. And he's like, "This looks so good. I can't even." He's like, "You didn't even do the outside. You just washed it. Look how good it looks." And I was like, "Let me know when you're ready to do the rest of it."
I did this, and you can too.
Yeah. And so did the same thing to his wife's car, cleaned it all up, got the interior shined up. It was dirty. It was just tan interior, tan leather. It was a Enclave, so it's like the Traverse and Outlooks and stuff like that, where they have that sliding middle row, which is for detailers that do this day in, day out, you know what a pain those seats are moving them back and forth. And I pulled all the track covers to pull all the covers off so I could get all the candy and Legos and toys. So it wasn't that bad. She had cleaned the whole car, pulled everything out, and then basically vacuumed it and then ran it through a car wash before she brought it to me. So that was very nice of her.
That's very convenient for you.
So I washed it again and then pulled it in. I cleaned all the mats, pulled all those plastics, cleaned all the carpets, then scrubbed all the leather. It was very filthy. But other than that, that was it. Then did the window, dressed it, did the windows, pulled it out. And when they picked it up, she was really excited, super stoked about it. But that was kind of what I worked on. They dropped it off Friday night for me. I didn't start on it till Saturday, but I did the majority of the work on Saturday. And then just touched up some stuff Sunday morning on it to make sure it was ready to go. And then Carly went and did some snowshoeing this weekend.
Ooh,
so
that's
she
a good
went up.
Right there.
She went up with some friends to go snowshoeing for the night, and they went up and she said it got cold and snowy They went up to Anthony
bound
Lakes
to happen.
in Oregon. It's like right outside of Baker City.
Oh, yeah.
So really pretty place. And then they just had a little Airbnb in Baker. And super fun time. She had a blast. She's been wanting to do snowshoeing. She has been wanting to go take us and have us all go snowshoeing. But we didn't jump on snowshoes in time. And if you got to buy 4 snowshoes, and then she's like, I don't even know if I'm going to like it. I don't know if the kids are going to like it. She just wants to get more into winter activities. Okay. For a long time, we never did a lot of winter activities.
It's fun. I'll vote for it. It's fun.
So she got herself a pair of snowshoes a couple weeks ago, and this was the goal was, hey, I'm going to go snowshoeing. And so she enjoyed it. She really liked it.
Good.
So she left on Saturday at like noon to go meet her friends over there, and then she came back like Sunday she was home by noon.
Yeah.
And so just gone for 24 hours. So it was just me and the kids. So Saturday night, finished detailing that car. Me and the kids went over to Big Judd's.
Oh, no, you didn't.
Yeah, picked ourselves up a Big Judd's special.
No way.
Ate that and the fries, split it, me and the kids, and then ordered some chip cookies to be delivered at 7 p.m.
Yeah.
And Augie was very excited to stand out front and wait for the cookies to be delivered. He was very excited about that.
So can Augie eat? He can eat a whole. He can't eat a whole one though.
He can't eat a whole. He wants to eat a whole one.
Wants to,
Do you
but
get
he
the
can't,
4 big ones, or you get the mini guys?
I get the 4 big ones.
Okay.
Okay. What flavors did you go with this time?
I did 2 Nutellas and 2 OGs.
Nice.
Is the Nutella's in right now?
Or not Nutellas, the Biscoff. The Biscoff.
Oh, the Biscoff.
Okay.
The cookie butter.
Do we know when the Nutella's coming back?
I don't know, but that was delicious.
Yeah, that
was delightful.
The pumpkin Nutella?
Oh.
That was...
Probably November.
Okay.
Long time from now.
Nick says that's one of the best cookies. He brought it in for us.
Yeah, it's still one of my favorites.
I said that's the best one I've ever had, hands down.
So I like the Biscoff when really do like the Biscoff version. That's probably my favorite. But the Nutella is the next second best.
Yeah.
So I got the regular OG for Hadley. Augie and I split half of a Biscoff. And then I fought high blood sugar all night. So I didn't go to bed till about 1 o'clock because it was my own fault. They had gone out with my mother-in-law for a little while. She had gotten him ice cream with some gummy bears. I tried to dose him super heavy to counteract that.
Wasn't
He
enough.
came home. He was at like a 360. I dosed him hard all night. And then, it was funny because Carly came home. She's like, well, pizza or ice cream, French fries, chip cookies. No wonder he was so high. I was like, I did really good. He had limited French fries and he had a quarter of a chip cookie, and I dosed him perfectly for everything. I think it was the ice cream and gummy bears
He didn't account for those 2.
that were stuck in his system that was burning so slow that kept him up so high. And then last night he was high and he didn't even have anything. So something in his body that
the body was just like, hey,
the insulin wasn't reacting properly or wasn't working properly in that way. So anyway, that was my weekend in a nutshell. Is they picked up the car on Sunday, and Carly and I just had a lazy Super Bowl Sunday. After I got the car done, I just hung out on the couch and, we chilled out, and she came home, took a shower, and then it was like, let's just hang out and watch TV all day.
Game
and
day.
It was
Chill.
perfect. It was exactly the kind of weekend I wanted. Next weekend, I've got a detail coming. Old customer of mine is going to sell his truck right after I get done. He's going to put it up for sale as soon as I finish it. It's a truck I used to detail. I'm expecting it to be a very nice, very clean, red 3/4 ton Sierra. So I'm very excited about that. So anyway, but that was my weekend in a nutshell, and that was it. In case you guys are wondering, we've got our PNS hat on the table. We've got our Grand Ambassador of the Year 2020 Mountain Town Details hat on there, and then just for fun decoration today, the Idaho 21,
the original,
the number 1 Idaho 21. So first Rupes 21 sold in the state of Idaho, and that has I think a 2012 VIN on it. But
how many cars are done with this?
It's been about over 4,000 cars done with
Just
that polisher. It's had the head cap replaced 3 times, and then it had the cord replaced about 8 times, and it's had about 10 sets of brushes. So,
and now it sort of lives on in another tool.
Now the guts are all pulled out and put into another tool that I have, and this is now a shell.
But
So,
it makes good artwork for the wall.
that's right. So
Yeah.
there you go.
Well, I
But
think
just
that
in case you
rounds
guys were
out
wondering what was going on or
nice
what
little
that was
weekend
all
there.
about.
So, yeah, by the way, go, if you're on Instagram, follow Mountain Town Detail. See what happens when he receives his Grand Ambassador of the Year.
It's getting shipped out this week, I
stuff.
think.
That's going to be nuts. The guy's going to start a detail shop.
Well, he already has a
It's gonna
detail
be
shop, but
just-
he's going to hopefully start his own shop.
I mean, he's going to start like
Yeah.
a shop.
An actual separate business.
Yeah.
Hopefully, man. Justin, we believe in you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do it.
we believe in you, man. So that was awesome. I had fun with this one.
That was a good. We got deep in the weeds on some car stuff and some reminiscing.
I love that. I hope you guys love
Talk
that.
about my
when you're
deep-rooted
watching.
hate for quiet car
Way more fun
enthusiasts.
when
I'm
we can
sorry.
do that sort of thing. No, we're gonna do that again. Just watch what happens. We'll have to rehash how we got into cars again somewhere down the line, redo that episode. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening if you're sometime in the future. And by the way, make sure you subscribe to all 3 of our Rag Company YouTube channels. That includes the main channel, the podcast channel, and the FAQ channel. That's where you're gonna find a lot of cool stuff going on. We're obviously always busy. There's new stuff coming out on each of these channels all the time. But right now, the one to focus on, our Subaru TRC Rex build series on the main channel. You can check it out. I've got it right at the top of the page there. The one that says we bought it. Go check it out. It's an introduction to our project car, TRC Rex. And this week, I believe, we're going to be showing you how we washed it. So
Ooh, nice.
that's coming up in just a couple days. Stay tuned, guys. Till next time, we will see you on Thursday for Q&A Thursday. See ya.
See ya.
See ya.